Live and direct. We have Tikal. Remember that shit off the Method Man album? So they always be up in Liquid Swords and only built for Cuban links. What about Method Man Tikal? You know what I'm saying? I think that was the first solo album Wu-Tang put out. Yeah, it wasn't it. Oh, I'm trying to think. Did that come out? Yeah, that came out. Then Old Dirty Bastards album came out with the Return of the 36 Chambers, the dirty version. Yeah, that's neither here nor there. But again, I'm Alex Will 64. How you doing? You know what I'm saying? Cash App. You see that? It's like Cash App is right there at the bottom there. You see that there? You see that Cash App right there? If you would just go on and Cash App and just click on my name. You know what I'm saying? If you would just go ahead and click on that and make a nigga day. You know what I'm saying? But what's going on, Fancy Shift Shaker? What's going on, Denise Sunday? What's going on? So again, we're on this manifestation tip where we're talking about mind to material. How something in your mind becomes the thing that you observe in the physical plane. So what I've already established is that everything you observe is all mind. I don't care how fucked up the situation is, it's still mind. I don't care if you are cognitively dissonant, it's still mind. So what about your mind brought this into manifestation? Because then we have to really kind of assess, well, how far or how vast is your mind? Or how is your mind individualized? Like, for example, because when we think of mind, we have been programmed or trained to think of it as brain. So when I say mind, a lot of motherfuckers are going to think brain. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Priest Bowler? They're going to think brain. A lot of niggas associate mind with brain. So if something happens to my brain, they think that something happened to my mind. And that's not always necessarily or entirely the case. You know what I'm saying? Look at my big ass fucking head. You'd probably think I have more intelligence or more sophistication than my fellow brother and sister. But that may not always be the case. Because this is where you get your phrenology. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you ever seen the movie Django Unchained, but Calvin Candy, which was played by Leonardo DiCaprio, you know, there was a couple times in the movie where he made mention of the science of phrenology, which is really a pseudoscience. And phrenology is basically they look at a creature's brain to determine, you know, its psychology. So right there, that shit is pseudo, because now we've known for fucking ancient millennia, you know, that mind is an electromagnetic phenomena. It's beyond your brain, it's beyond your body. And then I did a whole video on my YouTube channel talking about it's called electromagnetic mind, where these motherfuckers right now in, you know, the UK, you know what I'm saying, one of those universities over there, they're trying to sit here and say, oh, it's a new theory of consciousness that your mind is not your brain. It's actually the electromagnetic field that, you know, is that you would, you know what I'm saying, you could detect around the brain or around the mind, you know, or excuse me, around the head. It's like, nigga, that's not a fucking new theory. Nigga, it's old knowledge. It's old, it's old facts. Fuck you mean it's a new theory of consciousness? Yeah, maybe according to y'all Caucasoid asses it is. You know what I'm saying? Maybe to y'all. Even if we're dealing with the modern era. We ain't even got to go back millennia. Let's deal with the modern era, like within the past couple centuries. Nigga, we been knew that shit. You go to a shaman in a certain, you know, community or society, you know what I'm saying, in here, you know, in the United States or Africa or whatever, and they'll tell you that it's that. Not even using the same terminology, but they'll basically tell you that your mind is beyond the physical. Your mind is metaphysical. You know what I'm saying? Which is, like I said, that's a great explanation when we're talking about you being reincarnated, or you going from body to body, or shell to shell. Your mind is metaphysical. It doesn't die with your body. So where does your mind go after it dies? You know what I'm saying? Which now you're implying some sort of spatio-temporal design where you're saying it goes somewhere physically. Again, we can, like I said, if you want to deal with quantum physics at this point, it's like they deal with wave-particle duality, where they're talking about how everything is a wave until you observe it, it becomes a particle physical thing. So your mind works the same way. Your mind has no physical fucking design. Like, it has no weight, it has no length, it has no width, it has no height. It has no geographical localization. So your mind is everywhere and nowhere at once. So what in your mind has you believing that you're in a physical location right now? If your mind is beyond the physical. What's good, Laura Spree or Laura Pre? Am I saying that right? What's going on? But again, like I said, this is, again, you need, when you're observing something, again, you are always observing mind. But whose mind? What mind? Is it your mind? Is it our mind? Is it her mind, his mind? Is it the mind? Is it just mind? What's going on in timid? What's going on? So this is what I'm saying. You go throughout your whole life convinced that all this shit is physical for the most part. A lot of people do. They do. Not knowing they were observing their mind the whole time. The whole time. Because again, throughout my whole metaphysical dabbling, I guess, or career, if you want to call it that, I've always said that, there's never a time that you were outside of the spirit, or the thing that you call spirit. There's never a time you were outside of the ether. There was never a time. You were always in it. You are in it now. You always will be in it as long as you are in existence. So if that be the case, then what are you observing when you pick up a cup, or when you pick up a bottle, or when you pick up a firearm, or your phone, or whatever? Or you picking up something, when you're in the bedroom with your lover. So for me, if I picked up a woman and we did the froggy thing, what's really going on in the room? You know what I'm saying? We shaking up the room, but what's really going on in the room? It's just all mind. As we know, mind precedes all physical things. So that means when me and that woman does what we do in that room, that was already planned in the mind, whether we knew it or not. See, when you're in that human state, you think that you're in control of shit, and it's like, that's not how the things work. What's going on is you are just a piece on the board, and there's an invisible force pushing you here and pushing you there. Now, when we get into the science of alignment, what we're dealing with is, well, which force are you following, or which force are you under? Because we deal with alignment, so that means we're getting in tune and aligned with our Christ ancestors, or the ancestors that were, spiritually mastered or cultivated. Because who would have more wisdom than them? Who would have more knowledge of the universe and the cosmos than them? So we seek to get into alignment with them so that their invisible power, their invisible mind or force, make sure that we are on the right route in what we do and how we navigate the earth as we observe it. You know what I'm saying? So for those who are outside of that alignment or who are not lined up with that shit, you see all the bullshit happen to them. Even if it looks like they are, you know what I'm saying, well off, or, they look successful and all that shit. It's like, no, it just appears that way. It appears that way. And this is something that you really can't explain to somebody who's under the illusion. Because they're convinced that certain illusions are real, so you can't really get through to that. What's going on, Castro Oliver? What's going on? Say, you heard? Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. I ain't going to say I'm trying. I am saying. I am saying. You know what I'm saying? Some got caught in my beard. Y'all need to start letting me know when shit get caught in my shit. You know what I'm saying? Friends. How many of us have them? Y'all ain't even let me know if something was in my shit. You know what I'm saying? I need to get that groomed. What's that shit called? It's black men. It's like the niggas is down there in Atlanta. Like, they got this stuff where it's like you get to, like, groom your beard and make sure there's nothing in it, and it's you know what I'm saying, real sleek. You know what I'm saying? You can attract any woman with it. You know what I mean? Like, it's real sleek and shit. I gotta get that product. But again, we're not dealing with things that happen randomly. Randomness does not exist. Doesn't exist. Even if you want to go back into the Christian context of things, God does not play dice. So, for example, even if you had some dice in your hand and you rolled 666, my nigga, that's not random. There was nothing random about you rolling 6 or 4, 5, 6. You know what I'm saying? That was intentional. There was an intent behind you rolling 4, 5, 6 on the dice. There was nothing chance about it. There was nothing coincidental about it at all. So again, there is a design behind everything you experience. But do you know the design? So how the fuck would you call yourself woke and shit? You know what I'm saying? How would you call yourself conscious and woke and shit? You don't know the design of things. The design escapes you. Like, you don't even know why the fuck shit happened to you. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? What the entire fuck? You know what I mean? You see, y'all gotta start dealing with niggas. You see niggas all the time thinking they know shit. They're thinking they know everything. But they don't even know that. They don't know the design of their life. They don't know the thematic design and loops of their own existence. Why they keep experiencing the same shit. They don't know that. So I would consider you someone who is developing and evolving, or I ain't gonna say evolve, what's another word? You're advancing when you start to understand your loops. That's why I said in that video. I'm gonna say it like a zesty Spanish guy on the Telemundo. Get to the root of the loop. Get to the root of the loop. And you will, and once you do that, you'll be ahead of 99.9999999 niggas out here. I'm telling you. Because explanation is one thing, but actual gnosis and knowing things is a whole other ballpark. It's a whole nother sport. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta know how to categorize your conscious woke niggas when you see them on your timelines and sections within the groups of the Facebook, and you just gotta categorize them. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this nigga just likes to explain stuff. He doesn't know anything. Oh, this guy, he's into that. He knows that. He helped me with something with that. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta categorize them. You ain't gonna hate on nobody. I ain't gonna talk shit, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta know these niggas, man. Because I see it all the time. What's good, Rashima? What's going on? Say, yup. He says, zesty. Yeah, zesty. Get to the root of the loop. Yeah, it's spicy. You know, you got the spicy shirt with the motherfucking the palm trees on it. See, I got hair on my chest, so when I get to Florida sometime next year or whatever, maybe even this year, I'm gonna have my shirt unbuttoned and nothing but taco meat on my chest. You know what I'm saying? And I'm fishing for all of the females that like it, that love it, even if they hate men, because there's a lot of women on my page that hate men, but they can't resist certain like masculine energies. So it's like they're in a conundrum. They're in a conflict with them within their own selves, and then they project it onto me or whoever else that they, you know, following and shit. You know, so I see it all the time. It's nothing new. I'm not telling you something that just happened yesterday. This is years, years, my nigga, years. But getting back to this is where I was really trying to get back to. This chart that I posted on my page is probably somewhere. I don't know when you're gonna see this, but I posted this chart where it starts off with all is mind, mind is all, the universe is mental, which is the first hermetic or universal principle. You know what I'm saying? All is mind. So let's just focus on that part. Like, some niggas don't even got that down pat, because they behave as if everything is just physical. So if you knew and understood and thoroughly and depthly assimilated the truth that, or realized the truth that all is mind, wouldn't it occur to you to see what part of your mind is doing something so you can then go in and make the change if you needed to? Right? Because if you're impoverished or you keep meeting, the same type of dating partner that's causing problems for you, it's the same person but in different bodies and shit. Y'all know that. You know what I'm saying? That happens to me. Like, it's different persons, but it's definitely the same chick. It's the same spirit hopping bodies. You know what I'm saying? Body hopping out this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So you would go into your own mind, you would deal with your own inner self, or whatever you want to call it, all these new age terms for this shit, and you would make that change. You know what I'm saying? How I make the change, how I would recommend for you to make the change, just get into alignment. You know what I'm saying? Just get into alignment. Said exactly, make the necessary adaptations. Yep, that's me. I feel stuck like I'm on a gerbil's wheel. Get to the root of the loop. That's your problem, mamacita. You need to get the root of the root. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that you have this sensation or this inner innate knowing that you are on some sort of cycle and loop gives you the advantage. That puts you above a lot of motherfucking people. Just realizing you are on the fucking carousel. Some niggas don't know they on the carousel, sweetheart. They don't know. You know when you go to the motherfucking carnival and you on the horse or the little deer, you know what I'm saying? Dun, 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 dun. You on that thing where you may be on there with your little kid and y'all just going around the loop, and you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to like show like the physics of it. Like, you on the carousel. Some people don't know. They don't know they on the loop. So when you realize you're on the loop of something, you've made progress. Just realizing you're on it. Just realizing you're on it. And since you use gerbil, so I like that visual. So you look at the gerbil in the motherfucking cage and he's on the loop. Does he realize he's on it? With all the little droppings that's mixed in with the pellets and the shed fur, does he realize he's on a motherfucking wheel? Does he realize that? Just like the gorilla at the zoo. Does the gorilla realize it's in a zoo? Because I've said this always. When did I came up with this this saying? And you better not steal it, because I punch people, I knock people out. But the saying goes, you give the illusion of freedom by expanding its cage. Yeah. You give the illusion of freedom by expanding the cage. So for example, you may be, I don't know how big your body is, but they can put you in like a 6x6x6 cage, right? 6 feet by 6 feet by 6 feet cage, like a cube, right? So you'll probably feel trapped by that. But what if I let you out of that cage and put you in a bigger motherfucking cage where it's more like 60 feet by 60 feet by 60 feet? Because now you get to move around, you get to do all, you can play kickball in that bitch. Like, yo, you have a expanded sense of what you can do. However, you're still trapped in that motherfucking cage. So you got gorillas right now where it's like there's always that woke gorilla, like, yo, we need to get the fuck up out of here. These fucking white people got us in this motherfucker. And then you got the other gorillas like, what are you talking about, nigga? You always try to fuck up what we got going. Why you want to leave? They giving us fucking berries and celery sticks and broccoli. You know what I'm saying? Little green shakes. And you want to fuck it up and leave and go back out in the wild. You little goofy woke ass gorilla, you sit down somewhere. But again, that's my point. Like, you expanded you took the gorillas out of one cage and then you gave them this big ass terrain that they can't escape out of. So the motherfucking gorillas that don't know any better, they think they're free. They think they free. But that one woke ass gorilla, he like, nah, nigga, nah. They just motherfucking, you can't escape this bitch though. Said if you try to tell them, they may murk your ass. Yeah, they do. Said he's having the time of his life. Says shrooming right now, trying to get to the root of their loop. Okay. Don't forget to do the inner work when you're doing that shroom shit. And be careful, because there's a lot of niggas out here using them shrooms and act like they ain't drug addicts. And trying to like get over to you and me like they did spiritually advanced. It's like, no. You know what I'm saying? You're just a drug addict and you're thinking, I know your game. Why you trying to play me out? Say you're going to think you arrived. Yeah. So you take that dynamic and see how it fits in with all the niggas you know, all the people, all the black people, whatever. Because if the goal is to keep you in a fucking box, it don't matter how big the box is. They can make it twice or 3 times or quadruple the size of the box you in now. As long as you in that motherfucker, they won. They got, see that microwave right there? That right there, see the microwave? See that? They need to make it bigger and shit. Or I could have just paid more money to get a bigger suite. I don't know. It was good. King W was going on. Say, yup. Coping mechanism. Yeah. Oh, you say you're a first timer. I just want to see some. Okay, I ain't saying it's you. I'm just saying watch out for people they just drug addicts. Like, they're not really doing any type of advanced work with the shrooms or nothing, or the mescaline or whatever they're taking. You know what I'm saying? They just really drug addicts. You know what I'm saying? Trying to come on the tube or the Instagram or Facebook or whatever and trying to be like, oh, I saw the promised land, I saw these, I saw this, but they still the same dude. You know what I'm saying? Or same bitch. So it's like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Well, I watch out for them illusions. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're taking a shroom. You know what I'm saying? And that's a good thing to do. Don't worry about no people just, yep. I'm with you with that one. But getting back to this is what I'm focused on right here. Let's not get too sidetracked or whatever. So again, let's go through the motions. You have mind, then you have intent, you have meaning, then you have function, then form, and then substance, right? So the physical world is nothing but substance. You are processing substance that has a form, that follows a function, that follows a meaning that was based on an intent that came from the mind. Whew. So that's the hierarchy of this shit. So again, we dealt with that one level of, okay, all is mind. We're looking at a mental universe, right? A mental cosmos or whatever. Then came the intent. So everything you can observe in your space right now is intentionally there. It's not there by chance or by, say a randomness or whatever. It's intentionally there. Implying a design. So then we deal with the meaning. Why is it there? Why is it there? Why did it happen that way? Why are you there? Why is he here? Why are they over there? The meaning, the semiotic behind it, the semiotics of it. Why? So that has to be a very depthical gerbil to be like, why am I in this cage? Why am I in this wheel? Why are the pellets near my droppings? Like, why is this? Why? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of, when you get into the little conscious occult communities, they try to, say that, oh, y'all niggas is just philosophers. But philosophy plays a part in this whole metaphysics. In fact, metaphysics itself came from philosophy. It's an Aristotelian shit. That's where, it doesn't come from Aristotle. Like I said, when you're dealing with Greco-Roman cultures and Western world, they put, Aristotle and Plato and Pythagoras on fucking, ivory pedestals and shit like that. But again, as far as the word itself, metaphysics, that's something from Aristotle. That's philosophy. So the philosophy is involved in what I'm talking about. Meaning, reason, why? Why was I born with a dick and you may have been born with a pussy? Why? Is that random? Because again, dealing with these fucking Caucasoids, they'll have you thinking this shit is random. Like, for example, they think mutation is random. Mutation is not random. So right there, like when you're dealing with genetics and shit, it is not random. There's no such thing as a random fucking mutation. You have that mutation for a reason. Now, will you get to the depthicalness root of it? I don't know. But that's a major fallacy right now in the realm of genetics. They think that, or believe that mutation is random. No, nigga, it was intentional. Highly intentional, you know what I'm saying? Because a whole branch of that genetics just deals with, Caucasoids trying to correct, and I'm using that in quotations, they're trying to correct some sort of genetic disorder that they have. It's like, no, nigga, you have that for a reason. Do you know why, though? Do you know why? Do you? I do. Maybe you'll catch up in another 20, maybe another couple decades, you'll catch up with me. You know what I'm saying? You'll catch up and realize why you have the genetic disorder. Genetic disorder. Why aren't you laughing? It's funny because these niggas believe that their genetic mutations is random. What's going on, Kia? What's going on? They believe that shit, man. But again, dealing with this metaphysical model I have here, we're dealing with there's a meaning behind all this shit that you're observing in your life. There's a meaning to it. It means something. There's a why. Try to have me out here in this motherfucking earth plane talking about, oh, your existence is random and we're just here to be here. No, the fuck you're not. Even the cancerous Johns, they here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I know my why, my nigga. I don't know if you know yours. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Chris? What's up? Some people don't know their why. They don't know their purpose. They're just here. You're just here. You know what I'm saying? All the patterns that are just all around you, and you just think that you're just here. Motherfucking thing. Woo. Y'all need to stop listening to them Caucasoids, man. They will have you lost. The lost tribe of Shabazz ass niggas out here. You know what I'm saying? See, I don't go to them for my philosophical meanings and nothing. You know what I'm saying? Now, if there's a Caucasoid out there that has some facts, or they have some, factoid information, yeah, I'll check them out. Because they're giving you, they tell you how to make beer, you know what I'm saying? Like how you can brew some beer. It's factual. You get the right yeast, you get the right hops and barley, you get the right vat or whatever. They give you facts. But as far as the philosophy, hell no. The meaning and reasoning of things, no. Niggas don't even know why they here. You know what I'm saying? You ever see like a white person try to decipher the meaning of life? What's the meaning of life? Does God exist? Do I have a purpose? Why am I in a crisis? Is anything real? Is that air I'm breathing? Why am I lacking melanin? What is melanin? Oh shit. It said distortion at its finest. Yeah. What's good, Strawberry Kids? What's going on? It said facts. Yes, I obtain facts from just facts, like stuff that's trivial, you know what I'm saying? Trivial facts. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Because again, they may know stuff that, say you might not know, or you might not have, pulled from your a priori knowledge to know. So it was cool. I ain't got a problem with that. But like I said, I don't, when it comes to like religions and metaphysics and meaning and reason, no, I don't deal with them on that. Because like when I was in college or whatever, high school, like they try to, have you read up on like Friedrich Nietzsche and Arthur Schopenhauer and fucking all these white philosophers and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they really know what the fuck is. Come on, man. If you was a cell in the body, would you go to a cancer cell for your knowledge? But anyway, so now we get done dealing with meaning. You know what I'm saying? Because we already dealt with intent of the mind. And we have the meaning behind that intent. Then we deal with function again. So I'm just running through it once more. So function. Step-by-step process. Whether it's within an instant or whether it takes thousands of years. What is the function? What is the algorithm? What is the mechanism? I even put a post on my Instagram just recently talking about mechanism. You know what I'm saying? Mechanism is beyond the physical. So how something moves, how something is shaped, how something goes from one change into the next, and you observe it as, time or whatever, that follows an algorithm. There's a mechanic behind that. So mechanics or the mechanism of something is beyond the physical. It's spiritual. You see spiritual. We just say mental. You know what I'm saying? So if you're trying to get a car to work, for example, in my fucking situation, you're trying to get a car to work, there's a certain line of steps for that car to work. You turn on the car, it starts the ignition, gas from the fuel line goes into the engine. Now you have a running car. There's all types of other stuff that goes into it. So that whole mechanism of how a car starts up and then you can drive it, that's beyond the physical. Because somebody had to have it in their mind. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just using the brain as just a symbol as the mind, but it's not the mind. It was in their mind to know or to visualize that and then to craft the car to follow that mechanism. So the mechanism would exist first before you get into how the fucking car is going to be formed and then what substances you're going to use to form the car. Because your tires are made of rubber, you know that the frame is metallic, and then you have all the plastics and the polymers and all that cool chemistry stuff. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of niggas will look at you as a nerd for knowing. All that goes into that. But it first follows an algorithm. It follows a set of instructions. It follows a set of steps. Just like your computer, my young friends out there. You know what I'm saying? Young man, young woman. It's algorithmic. Algorithmic. You know what I'm saying? You first have to have how this is going to, the blueprint. Not just the blueprint of how it's going to be shaped, but the blueprint of how is this thing going to function. So function. So I don't know if you remember the math that you learned in high school or whatever, college. We had to learn about functions, like x equals such and such, or a plus b equals c, and all that goofy shit. This is beyond the physical realm. See, they don't teach you the metaphysics of your mathematics. They don't, do they? They don't get into the metaphysics of your mathematics. And we know that mathematics is the language of the cosmos or the universe. That's a language. But they don't teach you the fucking cosmological core of it, or the cosmological root of this mathematics. Because again, when you're dealing with mathematics, that comes from arithmetic within the 7 liberal arts and sciences. So when you deal with the quadrivium, which I gave the book, see, I would put the book on here, but it's I'm using it as a stand, so you're out of luck there, buddy. You probably have to go on my Instagram. But arithmetic, because that's number. So number and arithmetic are the same thing. So then, okay, we start out with arithmetic and number. Then we get into geometry. So geometry is nothing but numbers in space. So we go from quality and qualities to showing how numbers become physical objects, or how they manifest on a 3-dimensional plane or whatever, you know what I'm saying, or how they manifest physically. And then we go from geometry, we get into music. So what music as it is now is not what it really, music has a more depthical understanding to it. Music is literally numbers in time. So how numbers behave over the course or the axis of time. So how it makes its changes beyond, or how it makes its changes along the what you perceive as time. That's music. That's true music. Then they start putting sounds to it, and then, that's why you niggas be jamming and shit right now. You know what I'm saying? Pop, smoke, the woo. You know what I mean? And then after music, what do you deal with? The mastery, cosmology, or astrology. That's the last of the 7 liberal arts and sciences. That's the last of it. You know what I mean? So now when you're dealing with cosmology or astrology, you're dealing with numbers in space and in time. Numbers within a spatio-temporal construct, the physical. Spatio-temporal, the space-time continuum. That's what they like to call it over in their Western science. So this is why each culture or society, especially when you're dealing with us melanated folk, we all have a cosmology. You've dealt with Dogon cosmology before, probably. Akan cosmology, Congo cosmology, Native American cosmology. You know what I'm saying? So every culture has a cosmology. How they deal with these numbers in space and time. Because if you go back to numbers in arithmetic, you're dealing with gods, deities. Deities are actually numbers. So you go from 1 to 9, you're dealing with the Aeneid. You're dealing with the complete set of the gods or the deities. They're numbers. Not just in quantity of the number, but the quality of the number. Its metaphysical meaning. Said, great analogy with the car. Thanks, man. So exactly, the Caucasian can't go beyond the physical, for he is a mere caucus, he's dead. And you can have that understanding, because I know what you mean. You know what I'm saying? I know exactly what you mean, but you have to understand, everything here has a spirit. Everything here has an electromagnetic field. So what you're observing right now is just a projection of that spirit. Going all the way back into what? We're dealing with the highest level is the mind. What's going on? I don't know how to speak French. You gotta learn. You gotta show me how you pronounce your name. Alex. You gotta see. Mine is simple. It's Alex Will 6. It's very simple. I don't have a pronunciation key. You gotta tell me how to pronounce that. What's good, Zoe? What's going on? Said fluent. Best conversations spiritually are through numerology. My favorite way to communicate. But like I said before, what you understand about current day numerology, it comes from arithmetic. You know what I'm saying? So you need to understand. If you understand arithmetic, that numerology stuff, that shit'll fall off, because now you're getting the real deal with arithmetic. Now these people like for example, you're dealing with a numerologist. Well, let's crank it up a notch, and okay, let's put all those numbers in a function equation, like with binomials and quadrinomials and trigonometry. Now we're getting into advanced numerology, because they just really like to just deal with the numbers of shit. Where they talk about, like, add up all the digits of your birthday or all the digits of your name. Now we going beyond that. So beyond. All the way beyond. We're going beyond that. You know what I'm saying? Said, are those beads from a Babalao? No. What make you say that? These are not even beads. These are not beads. More like seeds. These ain't beads. They look like them beads they be wearing. No, these are not beads. Said, let's go. That's where we at. See, and like I said, these are basic things. So for somebody trying to be so advanced out there, it's like, yo, get the foundation straight. Get the foundation straight. Number, geometry, music, astrology, or cosmology. You know what I'm saying? Because even before you got to the quadrivium, you had to deal with the trivium. So trivium plus quadrivium is 7 liberal arts and sciences. So the trivium is basically, grammar, which you would learn how to read and write and all that. Then you deal with rhetoric, learning to put emotion into what you're reading and writing. Then you get into logic, which is the structure of the mind. It's logic. Because where does the word logic come from? It comes from logos. Logos is the soul. So true logic is the intelligence of the soul. That's true logic. Then it became something where it's like, oh, are you logical? Are you reasonable? Are you rational and all that shit? No, true logic is soul. That's your greatest logic you can have. Not human logic. That's a fucking oxymoron. No, soul logic. So even when you're dealing with words where you're dealing with archaeology, sociology, um, soteriology, you know what I'm saying, numerology, all these ologies, they're really just explaining different aspects of the soul's intelligence. So the best way to understand sociology, soteriology, archaeology is understanding it from a soul's perspective or a soul's intelligence. What's good, CJ Davis? What's going on? Said foundation is the key, and we're trying to open all doors here. Said, does gematria fit into this? Yes, it does. Especially when you're dealing with logic going into the quadrivium and dealing with number. Yes. So you deal with that 7, you basically deal with everything. And I'm going to deal with the everything type of dude. Like, that's a transdisciplinary approach to all this. See, this is why I consider myself an alchemist, because when you study alchemy, you study it all. Because alchemy is a mother. It's the mother of sciences. In which I'm going to try to etch into your motherfucking mind. You will never understand the child if you don't know the mother. Or you could also flip it to say, if you don't know the mother, you'll never fully understand the child. Or the children. Say exactly. Say you're knowledgeable. What can you share on your understanding of Goetia? I mean, outside of what you can read from, you know what I'm saying, the actual Lesser Keys of Solomon and all that. I mean, there's also, I don't know which version of those Solomon books or grimoires that you have, but they explain how the 72 Goetia is really the 72, was it? So it was like 72 sections of your pineal or something like that. Something like that. I know they made a correlation between the 72 Goetia and some sort of 72 sections somewhere in your actual physical brain or whatever. So I know that's right. I don't know what you know that's right, but I think I'm got a feeling I know that you know that I know that we all know, or that I know that you're all right. That's good. But not to get sidetracked, we're still on this hill. So we was talking about function, mechanism, and algorithm, right? That's what we was talking about. So that needs to, before you have a physical realm, there has to be an algorithm. There's mechanisms to it. Now, physics is really on the surface of this shit, because physics, like when you deal with physicists and shit like that, where they come at you with all these different equations on how the physical natural world operates, like speed, for example. You know what I'm saying? Speed is calculated as distance divided by time. It's a very simple algorithm. You can get into velocity. You can get into the circumference of a circle, the volume of a cube, and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Those things are very simple and basic. But we're laying down that foundation so that then we can get the height on it. You're not going to build a skyscraper that's going to last you if the foundation is shoddy or fucked up. So this whole shit runs on. So when you say mathematics is the language of the universe, you're saying that this shit runs on a algorithm beyond the physical. There's a design to it. So stop sitting here trying to tell me that shit is random, or it's things are unintentional. They're coincidental. Like some of you niggas don't like to pay attention to the synchronicities that you're seeing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't be paying attention. I don't know. Woke what? You know what I'm saying? You don't even be paying attention to the synchronicities, man. Thinking that the synchronicities are just coincidental, like there's no rhyme and reason and design behind them. Said they're all within you. Oh, you must be talking about the Goetia. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? But again, going back to mechanism and algorithm and function, right? See, it's a lot of people, they're out there, you know what I'm saying? See, mastery, right? If you're so much of a master, turn your hair blue right now. Make your hair blue right now without no chemicals, without no relaxer, whatever the fuck y'all use. Make your hair turn blue right now. What controls the fact that your hair is the color that it is? Or look at me, my nigga. This shit can grow in, but this ain't growing in, and this ain't growing in. You see this growing, but this shit ain't. Why? Because this shit started to fade out like when I was like 22, nigga. I had the Rogaine in the mirror. I'm like, come on, man, don't y'all take my shit away. I'm sorry for cheating on her. You know what I'm saying? They're like, God gets those who cheat on good girls and shit. I was a victim of that. But, you know what I'm saying? Or, because I used to wear a lot of motherfucking fitted caps. Or it could be genetic because my uncles had the same issue. Like, they went bald real early in their life, too. So those are those three factors that kind of, the reason why I'm bald. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. Like, where is your ability to control these so-called subconscious functions of your own fucking physical body? You know what I'm saying? Like, for those of y'all that's overweight and you want to be skinny, why aren't you skinny? Because they'll say things about, the metabolism. Well, why is your metabolism slow? Why is your metabolism retarded? You know what I'm saying? Why can't it be like fast? What's controlling that? You're not. You in the ego mind, you're not controlling your... So what is? So you got people out here that are not even in control of their physical body. They don't control it. They do not design. They don't have. They don't manipulate. They don't have that. They're not at that level to do anything with their physical body. They're at the mercy of that which controls their physical body. See, I know in certain disciplines that once you get into certain meditations and certain rituals and certain things like that, you are then granted control over that, over certain systems of your body. Like, do you control your heart rate? Do you know what your liver is doing right now? If you're a woman, do you know how many eggs you got left in your in your fallopian tubes and stuff? Do you know how many eggs you got left? Do you know what ancestor is tied to which egg in your fallopian or your ovaries? Oh, let me see what y'all wrote, because y'all out here, y'all going real fast with the thumbs. What's going on, Indigo Vibes 111? What's good, Avery Oceans? What's up? Is sonoluminescence a stronger force of light than bioluminescence? Well, like I said, bioluminescence and sonoluminescence, again, these are just terms where it's like, what do you actually mean by the term? You know what I'm saying? What do you actually mean? You know what I mean? Because this is like, for example, with sonoluminescence is what, like, why would you say it would be a stronger force than that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the basis of that? What's going on, Oracle Priestess? What's up? Said dietary. I don't, like I said, again, me doing what I've studied again. What you eat only accounts for a third of the energy that you use for your body. So it's not even just within what you're eating. Say we haven't received that download yet. Maybe you haven't. Who are you speaking for? Said because of sound, does the sound precede the physical, the bio? Well, can you see, like, for example, you got to know which, like, for example, I would answer that question just by looking at the electromagnetic spectrum. You know what I mean? Because we know that science, so, you know what I'm saying, light traveling faster than sound. You know what I mean? You know about that science, right? But then, like I said, there's levels of light. So not all light is created equally. You know what I mean? Yeah, but like I said, what level of sound? What level? What's good, Miss Jazz? What's going on? Said I was thinking about it when he spoke about music, and that's something you study in music. Just like this book Quadrivium, it goes into a whole chapter about the cymatics, like how the shape of a sound, you know what I'm saying, manifests physical objects. That's something you would get in a book like that. Say I would break down Sonalini. Break it down for us. Said I got cut off. Okay. But as the sound of light. Well, okay. Like I said, you're dealing things in light and sound. I can also deal with that in terms of electromagnetic wavelength. Because that's basically all that is. It's a wavelength of electromagnetism and shit. Said bless up Baba. Okay, I'm gonna bless up. Thank you. Said we'd have immortality if we had the download. Some may have it, but not the majority. Well, what if I said you have the file and you never opened it? So you talking about download? What if you never opened the file that's in you right now that you already downloaded? That's just like you. That's just like some old person, some geriatric person. You know, they 76 and they don't know how to use the computer. So it's like, yeah, I downloaded it, but where do I open the file? Like, did you check the download folder? You know what I'm saying? You already got it. Like Conway the Machine said, you already got it. I said, I already got it. I already got it. How I open it. You know what I'm saying? All right, where we at? We got 2 minutes left. I can't. Okay, we'll deal with form. So, like I said, after you have function, you have the form. So the form follows the function, and then, like I said, what's being formed is the substance, right? So, like I said, this is why I have this chart here, and it's like I said, you'll find it on my page. You know what I'm saying? You'll find it there. So first you have the mind. It has to have an intent. There's a meaning behind the intent. Then there's a function that arises out of the intent. Then a form comes through. And then, like I said, it does something to the substance that's here. Because without any of the 5 things before substance, you just have a big ass mass of shit and you can't really decipher what you're looking at. You're just looking at a mass of something. There's no definition, there's no distinction, there's no specification, there's no nothing. You know what I'm saying? So really you could say that, you know, there's substance and then there's mind. And then there's all those levels and degrees in between that. And then that's when we can get into sacred masculine and divine feminine. So just because you have a pussy don't mean you divine feminine. And just because you got a dick don't mean you sacred masculine. But you know, we let people do what they want to do. I ain't here to, you know what I'm saying. So with 5 seconds left, man, that's the second run of this mind to material. Cash App down there, or I